Hello, friends. The Montreal Canadiens and Pittsburgh Penguins, are they ready to make a deal? I know we're talking about a possible NHL transaction between the two clubs in late November, with the knowledge that the NHL trade deadline isn't until March 7th, 2025. But Kyle Dubas, the general manager of the Montreal Canadiens, also part of the management staff of the Four Nations Cup, was spotted at Montreal for a fifth time already this season in an official capacity. What is up with that? Where there is smoke, there is fire. So let's see if we're about to embark on a blazing journey of a possible transaction. Kyle Dubas spotted in Montreal 5 times. One, well, as I just mentioned, he's part of the management staff for the Four Nations Cup. So it's obvious maybe he's also here on a scouting mission, taking a look at Montreal Canadiens forward Nick Suzuki. Could you see Nick Suzuki being a part of the Four Nations Cup 13th forward? Do you see him as the fourth best centerman from this country in a possible limited best on best tournament? So there's reason number one. Kyle Dubas has been at the Bell Center 5 times, knowing that the Canadiens have played 10 games at home. Number two, the Pittsburgh Penguins have already been here, so it's very likely that the general manager traveled with his team to watch them play. Number three, geographical convenience. Know that, yes, Pittsburgh has been here. Calgary has been here. Seattle has been here. Ottawa has been here. The Canadiens recently played Buffalo, so he's kind of in the corridor scouting mission, trade mission for his Pittsburgh Penguins, who are filled to the brim with veterans and obviously competitively underachieving. So now we have 3 legitimate reasons. Four Nations Cup, Pittsburgh was here, geographical convenience, while also knowing reason number 4, that the Montreal Canadiens have been, for the majority of this season, hovering at the bottom of the NHL standings. So if Pittsburgh is looking to make a move and he's looking at the Montreal Canadiens or looking at who the Montreal Canadiens have been playing, like Buffalo, like Columbus, like Seattle, like Calgary, and down the list we go, it makes sense that he's kind of in this corridor. Reason number 5, maybe he's also looking at Laval Rocket prospects. The Laval Rocket, as of this recording, are a blistering red hot 12-2. So knowing that Laval started the month of November playing some home games, they had a good stretch of run of play at home before they leave for the rest of the month, more or less. There was an opportunity again for Kyle Dubas to look at some prospects because the Montreal Canadiens haven't been competitive, and they're looking at their farm team that is obviously doing very, very well. 14 games, 12 wins, and a couple of guys, especially Joshua Roy, Logan Mailloux, goaltenders like Connor Hughes have been performing well, Alex Barré-Boulet for veteran presence. But I'm suspicious. I wonder, because there is smoke, because something is going on, knowing that the Pittsburgh Penguins have a lot of talent and maybe they are hungry to make a move, but I just don't understand what the appeal would be to the Montreal Canadiens, who, again, let's remind people that need to be reminded of this. General manager Ken Hughes has stated time and time again he's not willing to give up pieces that, in his belief and his management team's belief, are going to be crucial ingredients, blue chip prospects, building blocks for the foreseeable future. And we've seen general manager Ken Hughes already look at perhaps older players that he is attracted to, that he thinks can round out his team, but pass because he doesn't want to overcommit, whether it's dollars and years or a combination of the two. So when we understand that the Pittsburgh Penguins are a veteran-led hockey club, I'm not so sure I see the clearest path possible here that makes sense for the Montreal Canadiens and Pittsburgh Penguins to get something going. Quite frankly, I'm going to chalk up the fact that Kyle Dubas has been here 5 times over 10 Montreal Canadian home games this season as just a sheer coincidence, geographical convenience, if you will, for the reasons I've outlined already. So it could be red hot AHL prospects. It could be somewhat of a scouting mission, scouting his own team, scouting the rest of the league that, again, has been in the Montreal-Ottawa corridor as he's working on building Canada's roster up for the upcoming Four Nations Cup. So this is what happens. I'll repeat myself. When the Montreal Canadiens play once on a Monday and don't play again until a Saturday when they host visiting Vegas, this is what happens. But you tell me, hit me up in the comments if you think it's more than just a plain Jane coincidence, or do you smell smoke? Is smoke billowing? Can you see something on the horizon? And is there a player on the Pittsburgh Penguins that you look at today, and don't come at me with Sidney Crosby, brother. Please don't come at me with number 87. As much as I wished it, and I'll tell you this quick anecdote. When Sidney Crosby was drafted, and I remember he was doing a sit-down interview on TSN, and he was asked about his boyhood team and all those questions all these rookies get asked on their draft year. His answer was the Montreal Canadiens. And I believed at the time that when we're talking about a great player, and we knew Sidney Crosby was going to be great, that if he really wanted to be a Montreal Canadian, he would be a Montreal Canadian. I just wish the biggest fan in me wishes Crosby would be a Canadian, but no, for so many different reasons. I think we could agree, right? Like, we could totally see Crosby being a one-team guy for his entire career. Like, I would think, not knowing Crosby whatsoever, but just what we all know publicly, something like that seems to me to be of high importance for Crosby's hockey legacy. But who knows, man? Like, this guy's a competitive juicer, and by that I mean a hockey player's got the juice, not the other thing. I just wanted to clarify that. But maybe he doesn't want to be on a rebuilding team, on a team that is underperforming, and maybe he wants to go chase a cup run one more time, and he just can't see that path being with the Pittsburgh Penguins. But the timing between 87 and Montreal, cap implications be damned, just the timing of it all, it just doesn't make any sense. And I don't believe Chris Letang is an option for the Montreal Canadiens. Chris Letang is pushing 37 years young. Again, I fall back onto, the knowledge that we work from, that Ken Hughes has repeatedly stated that he doesn't want to overcommit. He's certainly not going to overcommit to an older player on the other side of 35. And he's not going to mortgage what he sees as potential building blocks moving forward for what he, again, might think as just simply a short-term fix for what the Montreal Canadiens have, what I would classify as having as long-term issues that are going to take more than just a player or two. But let's end this on the fact that Patrick Laine, again, has been pretty consistently skating, working with Adam Nicholas, and seemingly getting closer to a return. I mean, yes, the Canadiens have been playing better, 3 wins in their last 4, but it's fun to get excited about the possibility of what 92 is going to look like on a regular basis, who he's going to play with. How does Martin St. Louis kind of organize his forward lines when 92 has been cleared to play? Does he play on the first line? Does he get first wave power play time? How do they figure that all out? But yeah, I wish there was a trade coming. I really do. I really wish something was brewing, that Kyle Dubas has been here 5 times for 10 home games for the Canadiens, but just doesn't make sense to me. I chalk it up to simply convenience.